Guardian, we've picked up a high-gain transmission. Origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to Cosmodrome Radio, episode 58, I believe. We're on 58.
Yeah, we're on 58.
We partying. But, it's going to be a great episode for you folks. The podcast, all about Destiny 2 and everything great about it. We are here to party and enjoy, basically, the first week after a marvelous update, in my opinion. Like things have been swinging left and right. Things have been going great with this update. And I am thoroughly blown away, but we will dive into that and talk about things more in depth as we go along, but we're going to have a great time. My name is Jay Paracausal. To my right, on both sides, because like on vertical, he's like over this way. Cajun, Spicy Man, what up, fam? How you doing?
Man, speaking about being blown away, my ass almost got blown away because of a fucking tornado in my goddamn area on Wednesday. So the next time my girlfriend says, hey, I'm feeling the building move, that needs to be the cue for me to say, hey, I need to shut down my stream and go fucking bunker down. No shit. No. It was about 5 miles away.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of close, but we are safe. We are good. Took 3 days. Power got restored. Internet got restored. That was a fiasco in and out of itself. But outside of that, doing good. Freaking got a chance to play some Onslaught, some freaking, do some grinds. I have to say, I'm feeling Destiny 2 on a level that I haven't felt in a long freaking time.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then since Diva is apparently stranded in Mississippi right now, there's only 3 of us today, not 4 of us, but we have a very special guest hanging out with us. Man is a savage on the sticks. I love coming to check out this man's stream because he's always hanging out with his community and playing all the time. Krausader, how you doing, fam?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on today. Appreciate it. No, it's MNK, buddy. It's MNK.
Hey, man, sticks is a metaphor. Anybody can rock. Like, we've been gaming since Atari days where we had knobs on squares. Like, it's
That's
a
true.
metaphor.
That's true.
We've been doing this a long time. But how you doing? You want to let people know what you do and everything about it when it comes to the game.
All right. I'm a Destiny content creator, streaming on Twitch. What I mainly focus on is PvP. We do it what we call sodium-free PvP on the channel, where we game and have a good time. Oh, gasp! Oh my god! I like to refer to my superpowers that I just don't get mad when I play, and you go focus on, I played a lot of sports, right? And it's kind of like I'm old now. I can't, strap them up anymore and get out there. So like, this is my last competitive playground. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And you take a lot of the lessons learned about competition in those kind of arenas and take it into Crucible. And the staying in the moment. The next shot is your first shot kind of mentality. And you don't think about how you just died and how that guy's cheating. No. You're back in the game. You're loaded up, focused on the next encounter. So, so that's the philosophy. Trying to, the PvP community. It's not that they get a bad rap; they deserve it a lot. But we need to inject a little more of that. That camaraderie, that competitive spirit, you know what I mean, into the community, and I try to fashion up a little corner.
I need to learn from this man about the salt-free as far as PvP, because I won't lie, I know he came through a couple of times. He saw me get a little bit freaking honorary with Iron Banana, but Krausader, freaking so glad to have you on this episode today.
Most definitely, fam. And we've been trying to do this more when it comes to folks. What is your ghost story? What got you into Destiny? What made a ghost find you when it comes to the game?
Oh shit. So for me, I have COD DNA, right? Ooh. So I come from the, probably the first real online, COD that I played was Modern Warfare 2, the old one, right? When you were
the original
lunging,
Modern Warfare 2.
lunging and stabbing people with, the perks that you had. I basically had a friend who knew like kind of how to play like the concept of sight lines and how to clear a room and cover and all that stuff, and he kind of like took me under his wing. And we played through Black Ops, we played to as Modern Warfare 3, that golden age that people like to talk about, doing that. And then Advanced Warfare happens, right? Right around when Destiny comes out, right? And the beta, alpha and beta happen, and we're like not really vibing on Advanced Warfare. And people are like, "Hey, Bungie, the Halo guys, they got a new game." And so like that weekend, all my people, we all downloaded beta of Destiny 1. We all got in there into fought that spider tank. And
yes, yes,
over and over again, right? Because that's all we could do. And yeah, man, like it just kind of took hold, and then I started PvPing in there, and yeah, that's then 10 years.
Dax wouldn't let you leave.
Yeah. 10 years went by, and I'm still here. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love to hear that, fam. But don't forget, folks, that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. No, Google isn't. It's part of my script and I keep messing it up. Google isn't a thing anymore. YouTube, Spotify, all those great places you can find it. Check us out there. We're going to go ahead and dive into this because Bungie got us stacked when it comes to what's going down when it comes to things this week. And straight off rip, Into the Light update has dropped. Things are getting cooking with gas. Onslaught is here. And the weapons are hot, like spicy, like spicier than Cajun up in here. Like,
hell yeah.
Like already, I already dismantled my other half. My fallen guillotine's right where it needs to be. Like, I'm excited. Edge Transit's already cooking with gas. Recluse already. I said it before the show. I don't know who in their right mind at Bungie thought to put threat detector on Recluse. But that thing, when you even get one person next to you, has the most steady aim you ever done seen in the world. And it is mind-boggling. So I highly am excited when it comes to this. Onslaught itself, though, is I feel it is a mixed bag. The reason why I say that is because when it comes to it, Midtown, I feel is perfection. Like Midtown as a map for Onslaught is the greatest thing Bungie has ever cooked up. No hesitation, no nonsense. It is everything you could ever want in a wave-based map. Vostok kind of gets there. Kind of like it's almost as good. Moth Yard's too damn big. Like this show's called Cosmodrome Radio, and I'll be the one to say it. The Cosmodrome's too damn big for you to be like, hey, yo, let's have a horde mode. Like we got too much surface area up in here for you to be like, hey, yo, let's just shove a a triple the public event size into one thing, and then have a hive ship fly in and only drop off one dude. Like it don't work, fam. It don't work. But in terms of the scaling, it's awesome.
Now, as far as maps, I'm going to say this. I love Vostok because it feels like both a good mix of open space, but at the same time, somewhat close quarters in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels really, really good. To me, it feels the best out of all the three. Midtown, it can get really, really cramped, really, really freaking quick. And you definitely see a lot of the mobs freaking teleport to the freaking ADU. And before you know it, your ADU's shredded. But yes, I will agree. Moth Yards, no. Yeah, Bungie, that's too damn big. Freaking scale that down. If they were to take other, like, I would even go as far as say, take EDC, like Skydock area.
Yeah.
So, friggin' the hangar area. No, I'm talking about specifically the hangar area. If they can find the map just to that would be a good freaking. It would be like Vostok, but EDZ.
Okay. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't done more PvP maps. Like you had Vostok, you had Midtown. Why did we make a whole area like the Cosmodrome be a place. Like, it feels like the one weird outlier, you know?
I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't go with like EDZ.
I think
Like, there's a couple of locations within the EDZ that would have been like absolutely perfect for this.
Yeah, I think it's actually. I think they wanted a. I think it's a variance in map ranges as far as the design goes. They wanted a long range, so to feature scouts and snipers or something. They wanted a medium range, which Vostok served, and then they wanted the close range for Midtown, right? So that all the weapon types would kind of have their chance to shine on a map.
That makes sense.
But I do agree with you. Like, I never want to play on the Moth Yards. Like, I like Vostok because you can actually get that Tormentor away from your ADU.
Yes.
You can take him on a little trip, take him on a walk, walk him away.
Gonna take a trip
Midtown,
in our favorite rocket
screwed.
ship.
Yeah, on Midtown, you're screwed. He shows up right next to the damn thing, and he might teleport behind you. You don't even know where he's going. Like, it's
I will say the sleeper hit for me when it comes to both legend and regular Onslaught, and this is gonna sound nuts, Salvation's grip. Like, the Gorilla Grip has come back to haunt everybody, because you can, as long as you have the seasonal mods on for stasis, the amount of ice that you can put on the board, especially around a Tormentor, and then just shoot a regular shot of Salvation's Grip, like a normal grenade launcher shot, and then you just watch it all explode. You can one-shot a friggin' Tormentor. It is insanity. I think more people need.
Now, I'm gonna say this as a PSA, because I had to learn this fucking the other day when it comes to Salvation's Grip.
Oh God, here we go.
It's got a bigger range of freaking self damage than even a freaking rocket launcher or a GL.
I tried to warn him to be careful. This motherfucker would just aim straight down and just blow himself up.
Dude,
and I'm like, what are you doing?
Like there's at least a good 5 freaking meters between me and him, and I'm getting one shot. I was like, what the fuck is this? So no shot. It's roughly around 9 meters. If you shoot like something directly in front of you, if it's 9 meters, you're gonna be within an inch of your health. So if you have less than 1 HP off of your bar, you're dead.
And then there's me with Whisper of Rhyme, who just like never has low health. So I'm like, I don't have that problem. I aim my grenade launcher because I've been shooting grenade launchers like I'm Ice Cube for Triple X for years. So like, I know what the game is. But it was just funny because I would be shooting the boss. I turn around and I would shoot a Guardian down, and I'm like, what happened? And then he's like, damn it! I'm like, well, what do you want from me, fam? Like, you gotta aim the thing. You can't just shoot straight down. It was just funny. But Salvation's Grip, like Hoarfrost Z, like everyone's been like all season just been going solar. I'm like, nah, man. The darkness subclasses came to cook for this thing. Between my strand build and my stasis build, a little bit of arc too, because like point contact cannon brace has come back to haunt the hive. Like, you freaking swing back and just thunderclap a bunch of people, and then you have it right back and you do it again. You can wreck a whole wave real quick if you're careful about it. I will say though, shout out to Maddox. Man's made a freaking like unending consecration build with Pyrogale, and that.
I just want to point out that I had that shit a while back, and I told you about it, and you ignored me.
I was burnt out, literally, when it comes to solar, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go play in the Dairy Queen for a little bit. I don't need this. So I will admit you were correct, but like, I saw the video and tried to also sleeper pick out of nowhere from Maddox as well. Doomfang Pauldrons? Huh? Like, unending super that just came out of left field because of the ×4 void damage and just slayed everything. I was very intrigued by that.
Dude, it is absolutely freaking amazing how many of the freaking like really good builds are really popping off right now. Because hell, like you mentioned, freaking Solar's been the freaking top craze because of the seasonal artifact. I've been running Void. I've been running my Void Hunter. You have no idea how good it feels to be able to slip back into my Hunter and rock the OGs of OGs, Orpheus Rigs. Fucking, who wants super? You got super. Who wants orbs? Everybody's getting fucking orbs in this bitch. Because freaking I'm just unleashing freaking tethers like nobody's business, and it's fucking amazing.
Was it Krausader? What's been like your main build you've been rocking all week for this?
Well, everyone like Cajun saying, everyone wants their Void Hunter in there to be, popping tether, right? So I'm trying to, have builds that, rock Orpheus, but also are, synergizing with like, you break out Graviton Lance or something like that to go crazy, right? So it's like I got Graviton cooking, and then I kill someone with a grenade, and then it really cooks. Because it gets, the rounds. So like, just stuff like that. I what I really like about the mode though is that like we've never had a horde mode to build craft with, right? So it's just like open this box of all these different combinations that really like, right? These exotics haven't shined before, right? And now like here is a situation, here is a mode where they can. And that's it's like people like, right? I think it's just week 1, right? You're gonna get all sorts of new like, crazy builds that people are dusting off old exotics and being like, can I fit this in here? Can I fit this in here? And someone's gonna come up with some crazy stuff.
The arc warlocks come back into fury here in a minute. You're gonna see it happen. I'm telling you.
Freaking, I know I surprised JP with a build. He thought I was nuts when I talked about it, but you gotta admit that shit works.
Man walked in with Nezarec Sin, and I'm like, "Are you okay? What's going on here?
Hold up, Nezarec Sin with Graviton Lance on Strand.
Yeah,
I was a Strand subclass. You want to talk about the uptime you got on your freaking abilities? Nah, fam.
It was kind of nutty. I'll admit it was kind of nutty, but it was just like when he walked in and pitched this, I'm like, what? Well, what's going on? Like I was a little mystifying. I'll admit, I will be wholeheartedly admitting to that.
It's funny. Go ahead, Krausader.
No, I was to say I like how, and they've been doing it for a couple of seasons, right? And I feel like you see the progression now with what's happening with Prismatic, right? Is that like they've been having classes play off each other, right? Like, right? So if you do stasis, then this light subclass happens, or you do, someone's affected by solar and now some like strand thing is gonna damage them more, or whatever it is, right? Like you've got these synergies. So now like when I used to make builds, like it was like, well, this is an arc build, right? But now you're doing things like, oh, I have a solar void build, right? Like right? Like I got, because I can do my whole, like, because that's what I was messing with too. I was like, well, I'm gonna run void for the class, but like you can run Sunshot still and make everything explode.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then pair it with Galahorn so I can provide the the rocket power for everyone else. And like I'm doing solar things. I'm working the artifact with the solar stuff, right? So you come up with these hybrid builds, and now we're gonna have the hybrid of all hybrid systems coming in. So they're kind of, I think, been pushing that way.
Well, let's talk about that. What I've deemed the death of PvP. I mean, this new subclass we're getting.
I don't think it's gonna be the death of PvP. It's definitely gonna shift the freaking meta. That's for absolute certain.
But so Bungie drops this out of nowhere, and we're all like, and me and Cajun reacted to it live. We were sitting here, and I was like, "What if we get a new subclass?" Cajun's like, "No, that's not gonna happen." And we're sitting there.
Of course, my ass had to go bet freaking 5 gifted subs, and what's the first thing right out the fucking gate after freaking hold up? Luke Smith shows his face. We haven't had that in a long time. And then they drop a new subclass. I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
That Twitch check yesterday was real nice, Cajun. Thanks. But like, and like Luke Smith comes out and it's just like, "Yo, we've been cooking a little bit for y'all, but it ain't the end of Destiny 2 after Final Shape, and it surely ain't the end of Destiny." And I'm like, That's a mighty large statement you've done made here, sir. First of all, where the hell have you been for God knows how long? Last time we saw this man was the Beyond Light Vidoc. Second of all, that's a mighty big claim you're making. Hey, yo, we ain't done after Final Shape. The way things have been looking.
And then conveniently, all the Destiny 3 leaks start happening right after that.
Okay, but sorry, I hate to be that person, but how often have we been hearing, Destiny 3, Destiny 3? And look, don't get me wrong, if Bungie is actually cooking Destiny 3, I say let them cook. Let the story be freaking amazing, but let the engine and the gameplay be what they want it to be.
Definitely. So I think it makes more sense this time though, because my first reaction to Prismatic, right, was this is a system, right, that if without restrictions totally makes the current system obsolete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what the first question out of everyone's mouth was, right? It was like, why would I play the other subclasses if I can just pick and choose a la carte myself into a build, right? Like there'd be no reason, right? And I was like, well, I actually, was posting a lot of stuff about like this feels like a Destiny 3 mechanic because it is that game breaking, right? It is that much of a, like I said, like how do they balance PvP with this? They'd have to balance an entirely new game essentially to make that work.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Like now, like I know that people don't love leaks, but one of the things that is in one of the leaks is they said Prismatic was a Destiny 3 mechanic and it was brought up into Destiny 2 for Final Shape. And I'm like, well, okay, that makes sense too, right? Because that leads more credence to it. Because now it's like almost like a test bed for them to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna do this. So why not put it into the Final Shape, game and get a lot of valuable information about combos and how to put things together so that we can balance our game that's coming a little better, even better than that. Like that all makes sense.
It does.
A developer,
especially because I'll keep it a buck. We're kind of like Gator's gonna hate me making this joke. We're kind of in a Kingdom Hearts 3 situation where we have an imbalance, where we have more pieces of light than dark in this situation, and it's like we have 3 light, 2 dark. Everybody kept thinking we were gonna get one more dark subclass before they just went and said, hey, yo, fuck it, everything's a free game. It's very weird how they've done this, where they've just said, now we're just going to mix everything together, call it a day. Why the imbalance? Why not give credence to the red subclass leak? Why not rush that into development and make it something decent and then finish cooking it like during the episodes or something? It feels kind of weird that, because in my head, it would make perfect sense, like have the couple like extra light supers like Twilight Arsenal, Song of Flame, etc., and then be like, hey, the witness is throwing this at you as you come into the Traveler. Red. And it's like, red? What's red? And it's just a whole ball game in itself. So it feels weird that it's just like, the Travelers, on top of giving you new supers, is letting you just break the game. It feels a little weird. It makes sense, but it feels a little weird, if you know what I mean.
But there are so many games out there, right, that the last level, you get to like use everything. This is our last level.
It's funny you mention that. So freaking a lot of people that follow me know that on top of talking about Destiny, I love talking about Final Fantasy. And one of the biggest freaking points that I could say is Final Fantasy 14, their last freaking expansion, Endwalker. Literally in the final fight, you are literally pushed beyond your freaking limits, and you're about to get wiped from existence, and you get that second chance, and you come back freaking powerful, full power restored, and you're just going ham. It is absolutely one of the best freaking fights in the game, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how, seeing Prismatic, I felt like that was the case when we got that initial reaction, that it's like, okay, we're entering the Traveler, we're about to get pinned down, and then the Traveler's going to give us this last blessing to freaking just crack open the dam and let us
go ham.
Go ham. But reading the deep dive into this, it's not as busted as originally we were led to believe. There is limitations. And to me, it's like, okay, cool. you recognize that you're trying to maintain a balance in your game, right? And so you're able to do things within reason. But to go back to your point, Crusader, like over prismatic, why would you want to go play the original subclass? Looking over the aspects, looking over the fragments, it's very simple. Prismatic's a jack of all trades. It's not a master of that original subclass. You're going to get more benefit from the actual subclass if you're like gearing completely solar or void or art versus prismatic. It allows you to tap in all these different aspects and fragments within those other subclasses, but you're not going to have that full range potential of any of the single ones. But at the same time, with the fact of transcendence, it's going to give us a unique gameplay experience on top of this mismatch posh.
Yeah, and what's even funny is you look at the deep dive at all the supers that are available. I noticed two things. Bungie made sure that for both Titan and Warlock, Bubble and Well aren't part of this. So if you want to use this, you're gonna have to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. Secondly,
okay,
if you look at Bubble, not Bubble, if you look at all of the darkness subclasses, similar to how there's certain melee abilities and things that are available, Blade Fury, Winter's Wrath, and what's the other one? Silence and Squall all say starting. So that makes me believe, granted, the Glacial Quake doesn't say starting, which is a little odd, but it makes me wonder if Bungie's cooking extra darkness supers in the background for the episodes.
That'd be cool. What I did notice is that it looked like they took some of the more, unappreciated aspects and threw them in there, the aspects, and then, but what you didn't see is they didn't take the identity of the classes, right? What's the identity of the warlock, the solar warlock, right? It's the Well, it's Icarus Dash, right? None of them are in there, right? For Titan, the Bubble's not in there, so like a lot of the. Like you can't with Hunter, you're not going to be able to just dodge and go invisible. That's not in there. So like a lot of the things that make those classes special, why they play them, they make sure to keep the identity in the class, right? So it's very much like, I find it a little like irresponsible that Bungie went and like put out the thing. It's for hype, right? It's for hype, obviously, but like they made it seem like you could do anything, right? And then they quietly dropped this article over here, and they say you can't actually do anything
with the time gating, where they like slid it in, like, hey, we know you got your hyped, but like here's this, and it's like
right, and then like it's like, if you look at it, it's a very calculated table of what to keep and what not to keep. It's very calculated. So like now I'm not as worried because I'm like, okay, they're trying to balance it in this sandbox, are there going to be broken things that they don't think of? Oh, of course. Like we have no idea what the exotic class items are going to do either, right? With which perks they're picking, right? Because you don't know. Everyone's going like, I would really love Stompies and Wormhusk together, but you have no idea.
Could you imagine Curious of the Falling Star and like the fish legs for Hunter together, and just have like quadruple power Thunder Crash? Like, my heart.
Cheese forever. I'm just saying, give us about a freaking month before you start dropping all the fucking glitches, ass.
Hey, crew,
love you, brother.
Like just off rip, just straight, like nonstop, just clouded. Oh, brother. But that's topic right there. Like the exotic class items, Bungie has shooken up the table and said all exotics are obsolete. You get to mix and match, and I think the reason why you had everybody scared, and then Bungie went, wait, hold on, let us cook. They're random rolls.
Yeah.
That's gonna be real interesting to see who gets what and who gets this and yada yada. No one Guardian is gonna have an alike system. Like it's gonna be great. At some point you might, but like it's gonna be all random rolls all the time.
I still think they're gonna pull the same thing they did with the Dev Insight prismatic thing. They're gonna say these are the short list of all the things we're actually putting on there. And these are the only combos we're gonna give you. You know, like that's there's gonna we're gonna either they're gonna tell us or we're gonna figure it out real quick when we start getting them.
Yeah,
you know, we're gonna be like, yeah, these never come together. No one's ever got these two together, right? And you know, it'll be fun, obviously, to see the random rolls and see what's possible. And someone's gonna, you know, post a Twitter on like, oh my god, I got a, you know, this piece is in there, you know, in the table. But I think it's again going to be somewhat balanced. And you know, one of the things I'm hoping for, like on the flip side of this, is like the one thing that, you know, PvP players are looking at when they saw that is what they highlighted it on the stream when they said, hey, I'm gonna take the Warlock and Lightning Surge and I'm gonna take the 3 things from the Strand melee, and now I've got 3 Lightning Surge charges when I'm in PvP. And you're like, oh, seriously? But you know, what if they're gonna give the other 2 something like that?
What if Titans can have their shoulder charge back and I can do multiple shoulder charges? It'd be kind of nice. Like, I'm just saying,
they're gonna give you Claws of Ahamkara and a shoulder charge thing.
Could you imagine? But like, bro, I think the thing that had me the most excited, and I know, I mean, because me and Quacky were talking about it, freaking Hoarfrost Z and Kepri's Horn together. I was about to bust. Like,
do not give that man any more fucking ideas.
No, but they showed it in the clip. They showed Drayer's Lash.
Strand Wave was there too.
Yeah, Drayer's Lash, Hoarfrost Z, and Kepri's all in one thing was right there. And I was like, brother, you're telling me I can make ice plus fire plus Strand? Y'all, it's over. Like, oh, brother, like it's not even on the table anymore. Like, we about to be cooking. Like I don't like making the joke, but I'm about to be like, we're making a wall and the witness is gonna build it. Like, it's gonna be right there in the face and it's gonna be great.
Well, I've already, like, I looked at the table and I was like, okay, so according to this, for a hunter, I can do an acrobat's dodge to get my I can dodge. I can get radiant with acrobats. I can slow everyone around me because I have Winter Shroud on. I can make a Spectre because I have Threaded Spectre on. I can make a clone, right? And if I throw on Worm Husk, I can heal too. Like, I could do all 4 of those things on a dodge, you know? So like there's some things in here where I'm
It's gonna be real interesting. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see what the results end up being. Now, if Bungie just goes free game, whatever you get is whatever you get, I'll be pretty impressed. But I agree with you that we're definitely going to have a table system. There'll definitely be a list, because I don't think Bungie knows the kind of power that the speedrunners will cook up. Like just to roll into the next topic, I already saw someone do 3 dudes do a 3-minute whisper already. So I already know that
I saw that clip,
is capable. Man. Yeah,
they're in the enemy rooms in less than a minute. Yeah.
God,
but yeah, let's talk about that. So Whisper of the Worm has come back in a dangerous way with 28 bullets in the clip, with field prep strapped to it. And man, I think Bungie kind of played us. Bungie played us because they were like, "Oh, we changed some stuff up in Whisper," and it was like, so you changed the boss room and that's it. And even then, the boss room felt like the easiest thing ever. Like, even on Legend, I cruised through that thing so easily. Like they should have left the boss room alone, because the boss room was chaotic. The boss room was insane. And they were all like, "Oh yeah, we upped the enemy count." I can't tell. Like the whole those the fire taken knights that used to be a detriment to any Guardian ain't shit no more. I rolled in there with Polaris Lance, cocked it, and was just like, this is over. This is done. Like, it just, I don't think Bungie was ready for the power tree.
So they did. So I did notice a couple of changes that they made. And first and foremost, they took away our freaking little safety hidey hole. That was the back of that fucking room. They made it a fucking hole.
Yeah.
Both me and my buddy freaking both slid down there. I thought I was gonna land safe. It was like, I was like, what the just killed me.
Oh, I will say one thing that I noticed about the jumping puzzle, especially if you have the tech with like Lion Rampant's Eager Edge Sword and Strand, you can go from where Zol starts talking to you and where the ledge starts pushing you off around the bend and start immediately onto the boob walls and skip that whole little tunnel area. And it's like, are y'all sure you were ready for all these movement techs? Like, I didn't think y'all were, like, y'all said you were ready, but were you ready? Really?
I don't think they cared. You know, it's just kind of like it's fun to see. It's fun to see how far, like, because people think you don't think about how far the power has crept up, right? And then you watch what people are doing to it, and you're like, you know how much more powerful we are now? It's crazy. Like how like we can go into a legend. Like I ran with some friends and I was like, it's so easy now. It's crazy how easy it is. But like it's still like it's I think it runs off of nostalgia, right? Like it's running off nostalgia. It's running off of like, man, this was like the thing. When they did this, we loved it, and all those happy feelings come rushing back. And it's happy too because you're coasting through it and you're just kind of reminiscing and you're not frustrated.
Yeah.
But you know what they're doing to keep it going though is they you know, it's what 4 weeks of catalyst drops that you're gonna have to wait for. So you know,
and 4 weeks of trying to get the things to get the ship too, because like you had to like go in there, get the oracles and get the taken blights, and that caught me off guard. Like I didn't realize I was gonna need Whisper until I looked over and was like, oh, there's some blights here that I need to shoot. And like chat was even telling me like, hey, you need this. I'm like, are you sure I need this? Like, y'all might get timed out here in a minute if I don't need this. And it was like, oh yeah, I kind of need this. So it was like, I will say what was exciting for me was the new stuff. But at the same time, I missed the original boss fight. Like the original boss fight where it just felt like chaos. Now it was like, other than the first time I ran it where somebody accidentally hit a box at the same time I did, like take out one boss, take out another boss. Like it felt too simplistic rather than chaotic.
Well,
Granted,
screw
the
it.
surprise of them dropping the
Do
ogre
3
on
at
us.
the same time.
That's true. But like them dropping the ogre on us out of left field like it was a gambit match. And they were like, take out that primeval. And like freaking witches are in the back. Like I was a little caught off guard by that. But other than that, it was a fun ride. I will say I was very enjoyable.
Yeah, both times we ran, we just said F it, and we spawned all 3 and went, you know, the old school way. Right? We're just like, we're not doing this one at a time. Just do it the right way. Yeah.
But I will say, Whisper, my baby feels good. Like that many bullets in the clip, she went from being like pretty good in terms of a DPS option to being like right behind grenade launchers now in terms of being hot. And I'm like, yeah, she back in a big way, and it's gonna be real good. It's like just shooting the witness with it. I'm really excited about that. So I don't know if y'all love Whisper like me, but that's my bitch right there. It's like she shoots good.
Oh, it feels good, and the fact that now we can change the freaking barrels and the freaking stocks. Freaking oh god! Thank God.
Stable. So stable.
It doesn't flinch as heavy as it used to.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. It doesn't take your whole
because almost
head
every
off.
shot you had to pull back on the freaking mouse or your sticks just to try and keep that bitch freaking even. Now you don't have to fight it as much. It's like, thank God.
Right.
I know a lot of people. Then when they were talking, they were like, you know, I don't. Why would you want to craft Whisper? And then when they saw the Bungie preview and they saw, ooh, steady rounds, ooh, like
field prep,
arrowhead break, field prep, holy crap, right? Like then people's brains started wrapping around it a little bit and be like, oh.
It's like now, granted, am I saying I'm a little bit more excited about craftable outbreak? Yes, but am I happy that I got so many more bullets to shoot at a boss's face? Yes. So definitely excited about the future of Whisper. Now, I want to touch on the PvP changes. Now, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, Bungie went ahead and dropped on us that with the coming update, there was going to be 2 weeks of trials where they kind of said, you know what? We heard that y'all don't like our new meter system. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw it out the window and give you ammo crates, but we're going to do it 2 different ways. The first week, we're going to just have 4 boxes around the entire arena every round. If you die, you lose it. and you have to do it again. Second week, you get 2 boxes in the same system. And I told everybody, yeah, you are reaping what you sowed. You couldn't just enjoy the meter system and enjoy the idea that, hey, you got to work for your shots after your first 2 kills. You get to keep holding your ammo, which is dope, but you have to keep working for your kills as you go. You can't just rely on special weapons every round. You have to actually use a primary weapon. And all we heard was people crying and complaining and yada, yada. So Bungie's like, fine, we're going to throw our hands up and just give you ammo crates. And I can say, as somebody who just went flawless a few hours ago, what the fuck have y'all done? Like, I genuinely feel like the community has reaped what they sowed. This is the consequences of your actions. But man, does it suck. Like, I keep saying, I feel like Negrodamus. I feel like people, if y'all would just listen to the words that come out of my mouth, we would have a lot less stress. But it just, like, you did it to yourselves. Y'all couldn't just be content with the middle ground, the foreground of meter system. You just wanted it all the time. Because what kept happening this weekend already, you had people with Forerunner having 12 bullets in the mag because they would run to 2 different points. Or you would have people who didn't read the TWID because, as we know and as we've talked about, not everyone knows about the TWID, and Bungie doesn't put stuff in game for people to know about. So everybody's running in clueless, and you just have people who run into fights without paying attention, and they're just dead because they didn't realize that person had special. They were probably thinking, oh, he used his 2 shots. I can just roll up with a primary and kill him. Nope. At this time, Shawty, that's not about to work. And they just did not understand the pain. But Forerunner, I was talking to Krausader before the show. I'm like, if they leave these boxes in, Forerunner's catching another nerf because that thing's hitting too good. Them 3 taps is sexy.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, Krausader, I don't know, like you, I don't know how deep you went into trials this weekend, but you know that's my baby right there. Like she was slapping cheeks all day.
Yeah,
like sniper rifles couldn't take it.
I haven't gone in yet, but that's because I hurt myself this week, so I've been on the shelf. But I do want to try it. But yeah, it's for people who have short memories, right? Like Destiny 1 ended this way with the damn special crates. All right. I hated it.
Like, don't blame you.
I did not like it at all.
It's bad.
And now it's back, and I'm just like, I know they're trying out a system and to see if it works. It looks like they're only confining it to 3s, which, okay, like I can see a little bit. I can see the argument of like, well, in 6s, earn it, but in 3s, I don't know. Like, it feels like you might be starved for a lot longer, right? And I know they tried to balance it where it's less kills in 3s and things like that. So I mean, there's a way to tweak the meter, obviously, but
right.
It's that whole, like we were talking about before the show, like, do you make it totally merit based, or do you let build and meta drive who grabs these things as well, right? Like, or is there a balance in there somewhere? So I mean, it does feel like they're pushing 4 crates in 3s playlists right now, which I don't know if I agree with that, but we'll see. They've been at least they've been good about tweaking pretty fast these days.
Right.
So
the fire team's been on it.
Right. So that's one of the things is, if things ship broke, I don't care as much if you're fixing it in 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Like, if the turnaround time is okay, then go ahead and break shit occasionally. But it's when you things aren't working and the meta is really imbalanced, and you don't do anything for 2 seasons or something, when people start to they get angry.
Right. I will say though, the community, like the player base has frustrated me a little bit this weekend, because if we're on a map like Burnout, and I made the joke before the show, and like if we're on a map like Burnout where it's a pretty much a equal oval or square shape, and we always spawn around B, and you have to run past A and C to get to the point. why on God's green earth would you run straight at the enemy team when the point's over here? If 2 + 2 is 4 and 5 + 5 is 10, what the fuck is this? Like, why are you going straight into the line of fire and dying and going Leroy Jenkins at the enemy team when we could go get our placement, beat the team there, shoot it out, hop on point, drop a barricade, be ready? But instead, people were just dying, and there were so many. Like, it was especially funny on multiplex, where there would be rounds where like my team would go charging at the enemy team. I'm sitting on the point, like just chilling with my drink, waiting as my teammates die. Finally, the enemy team starts heading towards me. Pop a barricade. Round 1, and I'm like, y'all didn't pay attention. Yeah, like y'all didn't care, and this is what Dominion does. Like, Dominion has caused this system where people can take advantage of the capture point rather than duking it out. That's the idea behind the system of a like, what's the word? I can't think of a goal for a round rather than just shooting it out. And people don't like that. And we talked about it last week, where it's like we're going to end up in a world where Dominion ends up being removed from trials because A, it's pigeonholing Titans and Warlocks, and B, people to this day, after 2 expansions, actually 1.5 expansions, Dominion has been in this game, and people still cannot, for the life of them, understand to go to the point. It has started to be a detriment to the game that people can't just go to the point. And I think it's just going to be the end solution is going to be delete the game mode and go back to elimination, because no one wants to pay the hell attention.
Yeah, like when you're playing solo, all right, it is difficult with knowing what kind of teammates you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because like I that is the biggest, that there is a game inside the game in trials when you're playing solo of what kind of teammates do I have? Are they the run at the other team as fast as possible kind, or are they the run to the point kind? Because you have to figure that out or you're gonna lose, right? So that's something that is always at the struggle of solo trials. And and then there's the whole load balancing and things like that, if you believe in the conspiracies, if that stuff's still on. But whether you're gonna have to carry your team every time or not. But it's still like, you got to figure that out, unless you're a guy who can 1v3 every time.
I mean, I started calling it a three-piece and a biscuit, where like I straight up roll up into a fight and I have to save my enemy team because I'm over here having to chew a Popeye's biscuit to shut my mouth because y'all are over here dying every 2 seconds. Like, I want to yell at y'all and turn on my microphone and yell, but it's like, let me just eat the biscuit because I won the fight. But like, if y'all could get your shit together, that'd be great. That's pretty much what I'm dealing with at this point. That's why I start calling it just a 3-piece and a biscuit, because all I'm doing is winning fights for y'all. So like, I definitely feel like Bungie has their work cut out for them with the future of PvP. But like, someone even said it in my comments earlier today that like, while the fire team is cooking with gas, I think Bungie sort of just kind of gave PvP the middle finger when it comes to Prismatic. Like, I saw people like Jake and everybody kind of looking at it like, yeah, PvP's kind of done for when it comes to Destiny 2. If people can like 1 minute freeze you and then suspend you and then burn you and then go invis and then crack the next guy, like it is definitely going to be an interesting dynamic when it comes to the game if people are just acting that way. So I worry for the future of PvP more than anything when it comes to Prismatic, because while it opens a lot of doors, it also shuts out a good chunk of the player base because they're not able to build craft as much, or don't want to build craft. Like the guy I saw today going into trials with blue armor on and was fresh out of the Cosmodrome, not knowing what the fuck he was doing, and the prompts on the screen told him to go see Saint 14 when he didn't know who the hell Saint 14 was. So, granted, that's more of a Bungie problem more than anything, but it feels like they're like PvP is getting put on the back burner, or even like it's getting the Gambit treatment where it's getting taken out to the backyard. It feels a little like that, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's a big release, right? So, PvP, if you're a PvPer, right? You know that the the Crucible is a barren wasteland on a big expansion release, right? So really, if you are sitting in the rooms of Bungie thinking about, oh, you know what? We got at least 3 weeks to balance this thing before everyone comes back here. All right, we
Shatter
got
Dive War flashbacks.
we got whatever 2 weeks before we. Is it 2 weeks before they release the raid? I forget, but
Something
like or a
that.
week.
It's
Yeah, so
2
like
weeks.
you got 2 weeks. Then the raid happens, and then right like then as soon as everyone's chewed through the content, then the PvP population will start to swell up again because it's only the real hardcore that are in there when a release happens. You know, not I don't even play PvP when when the new drop comes out. So yeah, it's I expect it to be broken, right? I expect things to be discovered, and I expect things to be broken in there, and people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, here's a video of something being totally imbalanced in PvP." I expect that to happen. It's just like I was saying before, as long as the strike team or whoever is there to like, if we get the same response times of what's happening now, that'll be way better than any other release we've had, right?
Yeah.
That'll be way better if
That's
they
very true.
fix it. In a month, they have a patch, or 3 weeks or 2 weeks, they have a patch already, kind of adjusting some values in PvP. Then you'll be okay. You can survive because we're gonna be focused on killing the witness, right? So
Yeah.
And also think of it on this. So when Stasis originally came out, it was like the most broken of all subclasses when it came to PvP. For a while, Bungie
I'm getting
finally
war flashbacks, bro. War
Yeah.
flashbacks.
Well, and this is why I bring that up, because when Strand came out, Strand didn't feel OP.
It felt pretty
in
checked at the door kind of thing.
Right. So I think Bungie, when it comes to the 3.0 subclass structure, I'm kind of like Crusader. I'm expecting busted, but I'm hoping that we're going to see the nice balance that we saw originally when like Strain came out the gate. We're going to see it, and we're going to see the same thing with Prismatic. There might be a couple little outliers that eventually need to be tweaked. Looking at you, roaches.
Need to call a fucking exterminator still in PvP sometimes.
No shit, dude.
Lord in heaven. Okay, so PvP will have its day. So for this next portion, we're gonna do this a certain way because I had an idea. We're gonna talk about Pantheon.
He had an idea.
Mr. Krabs, I had an idea. Like just, but like here's how we're gonna do this. So we're gonna talk about Pantheon. We're gonna talk about what's in the twin. And then we're going to give everybody a spoiler warning where you can check out if you don't want to know what's in the API. Because I feel like as hardcore PvE players, for like when it comes to me and Cajun, it deserves to be talked about somewhat, especially, or if Crusader wants to attempt that down the road, like that needs to be discussed. Because, goddamn, whoa, this is very divisive and very interesting. So we're going to talk about what's in the twin, and then we'll give everybody a spoiler warning of like, hey, if you want to dip, now's your time. Come back a different day. But this is where, like, well, I'll even put it in the show notes for the recorded version. Like, hey, come back at this time frame for the wrap up if you want to, like, come back. Like, so we'll have that moment. So, Bungie has given us a little bit more information about Pantheon. So the goal of Pantheon is to relive those incredible and heroic moments that raids always deliver, while also changing what you expect for some of the encounters many of you already know so well. Prepare to be nimble, adapt your strategies or throw them out the window, and your fire team will find success. Pantheon will increase in scale and difficulty each week, starting with 4 bosses in the first one and growing to 8 in a row on May 21st. Each time a new boss is added, the active modifiers will rotate. And the power cap will change, starting with players at 5 power below all the way up to contest mode equivalent of 20 power below. And holy crap, that's gas. And as the difficulty goes up, so does the pool of the available rewards. You can get adept raid weapons, deep sight versions of raid weapons, and even exotic weapons from doing this. Some rewards are weekly and others are linked to pursuits or triumphs, like the 4 new emblems, but many will also depend on your performance. We challenge you to complete each encounter before the bonus timer expires to get a platinum score and the greatest rewards. When April 30 arrives, we hope to have you trained. We hope you have trained and prepared yourselves. Shax will have the quest you'll need to start your journey to become a God Slayer. Yeah, that's the title waiting for the champions who conquer Pantheon, God Slayer.
Dude,
oh boy.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have not wanted a title as much as freaking that right there.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that Bungie has not stated whether or not this is a permanent affixture to Destiny or a completely temporary, I'm going to go on the assumption that this is 100% temporary. So that means this is your chance. This is your 1 month of freaking lock and load and get in there with your freaking fire team and make shit happen. But the fact that they're taking some of these bosses, they're going to be changing up the mechanics. And then to top it all off, there's going to be a timer to it. So now this is going to be that time of like, you're going to have to look at the casuals and say, hey, this is when you need to be meta as can be. You better have your freaking loadouts freaking primed. You better have the god roll weapons for the max DPS. This is it. This is, this will be one of those activities where you need the absolute best freaking loadout. But not only that, the skill to complement that loadout in order to get the objective done. Because we're going up by May 21st, we're going up to contest mode, which, guess what? Go look at all the previous contest modes. None of them are even close to 100% cleared.
Krausader, how do you feel about this?
I love this for the PvE community, right?
Oh,
and I know, I know this isn't for me, and that's okay, right? But like, when you're doing 8 bosses on the last week, and it's as hard as day 1 raiding, and you got to get through 8 with modified mechanics and a freaking timer, right? Like, that is hardcore as maybe they've ever done in PvE, right? For the PvPers. It's a love letter to them, right? Like those guys who go in and 2-man, like raids, or 1-man, like Nezarec or whatever, like, it's for them, right? And I love that because they are going to be so happy, and it's good. It's good for the game. It's good for the community. There's going to be so many people, content creators and stuff, just cycling people through trying to get their God Slayers done. Like, I love that. I love it. Maybe I'll try. I don't know, but like, it's fantastic.
But
like,
this, I'm gonna say this, and I know we've talked about this before, Jay, but this brings back the conversation of why hasn't Bungie given us the ability to have a contest mode of the raids in Destiny 2 outside of the contest mode for the freaking initial launch. This has been something a lot of the Destiny 2 community have been freaking asking
That's what
for.
I was gonna say.
Because that level of intensity, that level of freaking difficulty has been something that a lot of players, not just creators, that a lot of players have been wanting.
And the thing about that is, the past 3 times, at least twice, twice now for the podcast, but 3 times in general, I have tried to tell people contest mode is a mug. It is a whole different ball game than any raid, any master raid that you've gone into. You're like, I remember when King's Fall was coming back, and people were like, "We're gonna go beat Oryx," and I'm like, "No, you're not. Why are you being such a downer? Because you're not. I've been in raids with you. I know you. You're not gonna do that." And it's not to question your skill level. It's to question what you haven't handled yet. And people have been saying for the longest time, Bungie put contest mode as a modifier that you can activate at any time, so you can have a better success rate, a success rate that isn't just hinged on something like Ron, where Ron was fundamentally flawed. You need to have contest mode be a modifier that anybody could activate. That way, you're able to start training people. Hey, this is what you can expect on a day one. Be ready for it. And it would fix that like gap of entry, that barrier to entry so much for so many individuals.
And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna look to the casuals when I say this because I'm a casual as well. If you think that you're gonna be able to roll into this on May 21st and go in there freaking and chunk whatever rockets you're gonna use and freaking win. No, this is gonna break your dick off like freaking Trials matchmaking breaks casuals on a daily basis or a weekend basis. Sorry.
And the thing about it is, I want to be very blunt.
I'm right.
You're right. You're right. But like I want to be very blunt about the fact that like this is not good, like Bungie trying to gatekeep. In fact, I think they're doing the exact opposite by saying, "Hey, week 1, week 2, go shoot your shot. See if you have a chance." But then by week 4, week 5, or however long it like week 4, that's where the big dogs come in. Like, we gonna be pulling the little Mabu going, like, I'm a big dog, I do big dog shit. Like, we coming in here hot because this is where the challenge that we have been wanting, the thing that we have been asking for Bungie to do for so long. And I don't want to hear in 3-4 weeks, well, in like a month and a half, Bungie, why are you gatekeeping this for casuals? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because those people are going to be a thing. And it's not to say, hey, you're dog water, you're not allowed to come in here. It's, hey, freaking Oryx done ripped your dick off and threw it across the Saturn. Like this ain't for you no more. You go do you like the normal version of King's Falls over there. Go have fun. But don't question it this time when people are like it sucks Diva's not here because Diva would have a field day with us. Like, legitimately, this is the time for people to come in who want to test their mettle and have a fun time. Like, this is the meme itself. This is the Salto Greppo type level crap that people have been looking for. And I genuinely feel like this is the first time that nobody is allowed to bitch. And if you bitch, you're genuinely just wanting a handout. And I mean that wholeheartedly. You don't want to do mechanics. You don't want to increase your skill level to do the difficulty. You just want the handout because this time there's going to be motherfuckers who are like, I want the emblem for beating such and such boss. And I said Oryx, like, not as a spoiler, but as just like but to be like hyperbolic. Like we're not even at who's a part of this list yet, because for all we know, I could still be right that we're fighting Callus bosses. Like that's just me shooting the shit there.
Oh God, please. Dude, okay, I'm just gonna say
I'm
this.
if we're
fighting Galron, we better be freaking whipping out Operate Perfected. I'm just saying.
But like straight up like that. Like, it's very much like there are exclusive emblems for doing this. If you don't get it and you see people walking around with it, I don't want to hear, oh, Bungie's gatekeeping. No, you didn't beat it. Shut up. That's what needs to be said this time, because the ability to go to normal King's Fall or normal this or that is available. Go do it. That's the end of that conversation. Now,
yeah, like I said, I've already said this probably isn't for me.
and the thing is, that takes a lot of maturity, and not enough people are able to do that, to say that and be like, hey,
agreed.
This ain't for me. Hell, Cajun, when he got his dick kicked in trials a few weeks ago, he almost said PvP ain't for me no more. And that was a pretty mature thing for him to do. But then Saladin told him to come here for this grenade launcher, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna come back. So
You know what? Freaking, and that was the other thing too. For me, when in that PvP scene, I tried coming back as a PvP hunter, and it just doesn't feel the way like I've explained this to a couple of people. The PvP experience that was back in 2019 is vastly different than the PvP experience now. It's
Yeah.
completely night and day. And for me, playing as a hunter now, I just don't feel like in a good situation or capable of pulling off hunter like I used to now.
You gotta have that Patrick O'Houlihan's level, like dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge on a constant basis.
But when I rolled in with freaking Titan using the honey bun build,
I do big
freaking,
dog shit.
I felt like literally I was playing at my absolute best, and it was because the class fit my play style. And that's what it's going to come to for a lot of PvEers. If you don't recognize, you need the correct play style, not just for the content, but also that's going to match your play style. That's also going to complement your team in doing this type of stuff. You either need to recognize, like Krausader, that content's not going to be for you, or that class may not be for you.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to start accepting that as far as this game is concerned.
And the thing is, people will look at what we just said and say we're gatekeeping, but in reality, we're just being honest. Sometimes, like hearing the fucking "Welcome to Spalty Platoon," how tough are you, is a bad like trauma response for some people. They don't like hearing you gotta like sadly get good, or it's a skill issue because it's been so shit on and a stigma has been created by the community that you can't just be honest with somebody. And chat even just said sometimes you gotta know your limit. It's not like there was like I remember last year during or like 6 months ago for Crota, some people had to know their limit. And I like, could I have gone for like another 24 hours? Hell yeah. But some people on my team couldn't. And that was them being mature and going, yo, this ain't for me. And not enough people are able to do that. And it sucks. Like some levels just ain't for them. But I think the stigma of gaming,
be a bitch.
I think some people, especially because of things like Dark Souls, or there's the meme of Dark Souls, like, or just like harder challenges in video games, have created toxic individuals who have made people not understand the reality and the maturity of, hey, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I need to it's okay to have a milkshake over at the Goofy Goober sometimes. I do it too. Like it took me a hot minute before I even stepped into trials. There was a point where I had 0 lighthouses. Then I got to like 10, and I felt pretty good. I just crossed 45 after like a long time, and I feel pretty freaking good about it. But not everyone can say that, and they get really upset. Say Bungie's gatekeeping. Same thing with here. I've never completed a day one flawless, a day one raid because my skills weren't there previously, and this last time my team wasn't there. But it was the fact of the reality of, hey, they were mature enough to say they couldn't do it, and that's totally fine. And more people need to open themselves up to that. So now we're gonna
real quick, and this is the last bit I'm gonna add on this.
Yeah.
As you were talking, this reminded me about something. Helldivers, the friggin' the dev studio behind it, Arrowhead Games.
Mm-hmm.
They have in their studio their motto: "A game for everyone is a game for no one." Let's take that word game. Let's change that to mode. Let's change that to class. Let's change that to content.
Build.
That right there, for every gamer out there, know your limits. Understand and be honest with yourself. Anyways.
What's funny too is that Destiny is one of the most diverse games as far as modes go of any game that you've ever played. There is something for everyone in this game, right? Yeah. It's just there's so many different things. Like, you don't understand how, like, we've been it for so long and just seen it slowly build up. But you watch Noob Lights come in, right? They don't know what the hell's going on because there's so many different systems and different modes, and they don't know what the hell to do. It's because it's so complex. There is a home where you can shine, everywhere in the game. So that's, we got it good, right? It's basically what I'm saying.
Right. Now, this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want to know about what's coming in Pantheon for the bosses, this is your spoiler warning to dip out now. There will be a timestamp in the show notes of when to come back. Make sure that you look at the timestamp before you jump back into the edited version. 3, 2, 1, fair game. I swear to God, if Bungie doesn't make 8 tracks a motherfucker again, I'm gonna be livid. I want to make bitches sweat. I don't want to just T-crash one and then fall over. I want war. I want everybody to feel the pain of day one. I want 8 tracks to come back and be the HBIC. That girl deserves so much respect on the chat. I swear to God, like she needs to come in day one and be like, "Oh, you thought 4 clothes was bad? Try 8, motherfucker. You gotta go north, south, east, west, northeast. Like you gotta up your game on a whole nother level. Caretaker, oh, you thought you could handle this many bees flying around? Oh, the bees about to be coming like they was coming for Nicolas Cage. Like y'all don't know, brother. Like I need the bar to rise for some of these bosses. So week 1, you got Golgoroth, Caretaker, Planet Boss from Ron, and Atrax. And I already see Golgoroth is gonna be the thing that pisses off a lot of people as the weeks progress, because not everyone can handle we're gonna be able to weed out people week 1 of who can pay the fuck attention to their screen and see that they're about to explode. You're gonna
remember, we don't know if it's going to adhere to the true original boss fight.
That's true.
Because remember, they said they could have it completely redesigned. They could put in a couple of new nuances to the fight. That's going to be very interesting to fucking see. Like, it's like, oh, you thought you knew the fight. Oh, no. Wait.
Boy. Oh, boy.
How about this? A timer on Atrax's little light thing over your head that you can't pick it up again. How about that?
I'm here for it, baby. Ooh. Or matter of fact, or they put a zone around the airlocks where you can't take it off unless you go into an airlock. There's no copies of copies here. You gotta open that door if you want to get that thing off your head. I would love that. I like Bungie. You can take these ideas. I'm down. Like, take it all. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they're already on top of it.
Caretaker, I feel like that darkness is gonna encroach real quick. You will get like 1 symbol per round to go to that thing's gonna creep in real quick. Ad density is gonna increase tenfold. Snipers are gonna be hitting like trucks. Planet room. Y'all better figure out your call outs now, damn it. Like, I don't care if it's fast food franchises. I don't care if it's colors. I don't care if it's numbers. You better figure it out now, because that motherfucker's timer is gonna be real short this time. Like, y'all thought day 1 was bad.
I'm sorry, was that a reference to freaking Sammy Cat using freaking Pokemon for freaking planet call outs? Look, I've been watching her do the freaking solo attempt on the planet boss, and it's like when I saw that she was using Pokemon, I was like, I gave you A for creativity, but B, my brain is like breaking right now. Like,
now, I would love that, because I know all 1,000 Pokemon, but like everybody else, they're probably confused. Like, I'd be like, hey, yo, Squirtle's over here. Like, we got Picky Peck over there. Like, we gonna have fun, but like normals, they'll probably confuse as all hell. Then week 2, we're adding Oryx to the mix. I'm gonna tell you what, that man's gonna come over and just smash bitches with 1 fist, and it's gonna be like, oh.
And the fact that he's gonna be coming in at 10 power level below,
or above, rather.
Yeah, or we're gonna be 10 below power cap. And then
that's gonna be where Whispers come out to play right there.
And then the following week, we're gonna get Rolk. All right, you freaking kinksters. I know y'all freaking ready to get stomped by Rolk Daddy again,
No,
but
like,
god
sorry,
damn.
he gonna one shot you. He 15 above. He gonna one shot your ass. Like you think kicking is your kink right now? He about to just take your whole face off in one hit, and it's gonna be like, oh,
When I see people get curb stomped off the freaking map, oh god, that's gonna be Bungie, please make that a reality.
yes, please.
If he connects, you get yeeted. There's no chance of recovery. No eager engine, no nothing.
Well,
You know what I think? I think we are getting a preview right now in Onslaught of what's going to happen in the Pantheon. I think they're going to put tormentors in every fucking encounter. That's what I think.
It'd be cool to see a tormentor in Rogue. I feel like a tormentor in Rogue would be kind of funny, where like that man's just gonna walk up and you think you're gonna dunk that thing. No, sir. That tormentor's gonna walk up and stop you.
You think you're gonna kill a Colossus on planets? Nah, it's a tormentor. You know, it's gonna be shit like that.
Oh shit!
Like imagine you try to like check which planet it is, and then instead of a Colossus, a freaking tormentor spawns. It's like, oh, it's over now. Like,
it'd be fun too if like there were 4 colossi and like one torment, like one of them is a tormentor at random, you know, and someone has to deal.
And then like randomly, like during Golgoroth, you just see like one of the giant knights that we saw during Witch Queen just come like waltzing out behind Golgoroth, like, "What's up, dog?" Like that'd be hilarious. And then final week is Nezarec. If y'all, like,
no, we get 2 bosses for the final week.
Oh, that's right. They're adding Riven. I said this when Season of the Lost was about to launch. I'm gonna say it again. Bungie, if you don't remove the cheese and make Riven a bad bitch again, is gonna be a problem.
It's 100% gonna be legit Riven.
You need to like, and this is gonna be the time where like y'all motherfuckers better go do a legit Riven before that the 21st, because I guarantee them toenails ain't gonna be hitting the way they used to. Like you gonna find out real quick. Bungie's gonna be like, "Hey, yo, it's time to fuck."
You remember what happened last time contest mode Riven happened, right? Like only 2 survived or whatever, right? Like whatever it was. So like. I mean, I know we're more powerful now, but holy crap.
Riven to get to Nezarec is kind of funny to me. I feel like it should have been Nezarec then legit Riven.
Yeah,
that would have been the reason.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna see a lot of teams fall off when it's legit Riven then Nezarec, like because you're going from here to here, and it's like that's a little bit of a difference right there.
I will say this: if they tweak Nezarec just right, they could make Nezarec worse than Riven.
He will finally be the final god of pain right there. Like,
especially if he gets the ability to walk up on top platforms. Oh, we all fucked. We all fucked at that point.
Wait a minute.
Jay, I just saw the look on your face when I said that, dude. You just like, no. Why are you talking out of existence?
There might be a reason why he's last. You know,
because they gonna be the final god of pain.
They know already what they've done. You know,
because they're like, this is Bungie's like retake of like, hey, y'all thought ROM was easy. All right, we gonna give Nezarec some steroids and be like, we gonna play ball now. Like it's gonna be real funny seeing teams drop off. So I'm real excited about this. Like we gonna get that God Slayer done real quick. I'll tell you what.
Also, I do want to point this out. Is it absolutely funny that we're getting this and Riven and Nezarec are going to be the last 2 bosses of this 2 weeks before Final Shape, which is effectively 2 weeks before the well nerf?
you know, it's mathematically impossible to die in a well, Cajun.
Oh shit!
So it's gonna be real interesting. And like they released, like the challenges were found. So like the Extinction Averted is complete all encounters of the Pantheon Atrax Sovereign. Checkmate is complete all Oryx Exalted, which is second week 2, then week 3, then week 4. Then there's Conquer the Crypt, complete all encounters of Pantheon Atrax Sovereign with a high score. Unseated King is the same. Double Edge is the same for the next week. At the Zenith is the next. And then Rising High, earn points across all encounters in the Pantheon. a 1.5 mil score for that. And then Mountains Peak, earn points across all encounters in Pantheon, 3 mil. That's going to be a big one right there. 3 mil. And I think if Bungie puts a timer on that, that's going to be nutty.
Does God's, I got a question. Like, is because there's like, I know there's the emblems that have, leaked out and there are four different emblems, right? Like, does Godslayer require that you go and get all 8 on the contest mode week? Or is that what the emblems are for, kind of thing, right?
It says there are a total of 10 triumphs associated with the Godslayer seal, and that's all 10 triumphs. So I don't know. We don't know if there'll be like other seals where a certain amount is required, or if you need all 10. So that'll be interesting right there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering
if it's one of those, right? Like where they started to take the whole doing a perfect raid off of the raid titles, right? Like, is it gonna be you don't have to do the crazy thing, but we will give you an
get 5 and you get Godslayer, but if you want like the prestige of getting the other 5, then so be it. I can see them doing that, but this is gonna be nutty. From what people are saying and the key details, Pantheon appears to be a non-matched thing, which if anybody is upset about Pantheon not being match made, get out. I'm sorry. People who say raids need to be match made crack me up every time, because you really want to go match make into a raid? Really? Like,
Fire Team Finders for?
Right, that's what Fire Team Fighters for.
Yeah.
Like, do you not like? I remember when Ron came out, and there was the meme of dudes showing up for Nezarek and being like, "So who's running?" And then like everybody said they wanted to be on Ag Clear. Like that's what would happen if you had match made raids. Like half the lobby would say they're on Ag Clear, and you would have no direction. So that would be a bad mix right there. All 4 modes have a modifier Shot Caller. Landing multiple precision hits with the primary ammo weapon empowers special and heavy weapon ammo weapons. Reduces incoming damage while active. So, you know what that means, boys. Outbreak is back on the menu. Yeah.
Yep.
Completing the trials.
I'm gonna tell you right now. At that point, that's like freaking between. Yeah, you're gonna be looking between that and No Time to Explain.
Mm-hmm.
Those are gonna be
little buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Because I want to say that stays up even with freaking the weapon stowed.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So at that point, if that's still considered kinetic, you're able to maintain that buff past the freaking. When you stowed your weapon and you're using your freaking power weapon, that's going to be OP as fuck.
I feel like Osteostriga and Outbreak are going to be the 2 big dogs that come in swinging and just giving everybody the buffs right there. Like, you're going to see motherfuckers put Izanagi's away real quick if the idea is...
Thorn?
Thorn, yeah. Or even Lumina, because if you can buff your teammates, heal them, and up your own weapon game, that's a whole different ball game right there.
Exactly.
Completing the triumphs for the 4 normal challenges drops their respective emblems and 30 spoils of conquest each. Ooh. Damn. That's the most spoils we've ever gotten for something ever. That's insanity. Completing the triumphs with high scores and points requirements drops adept versions of raid weapons. Players will be able to get adept weapon, deep sight raid weapons, and exotic weapons on completion of Pantheon. And that's gonna be real nutty right there. So yeah, we'll have to see if you have to do all 10 for the seal, but that's gonna be the big dog right there. Like if you get Godslayer, that's gonna be the top of the food chain right there. Like that might never come off if I get it. It's gonna be real.
I'm right there with you. I'd never take that off. I'd be wearing that every single freaking day.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm a little sad Atheon's not on here as like the OG, but like I'm excited about the lineup because it's all like especially because they threw Oryx on here. You would think that and Golgoroth, you would think like at least Atheon or Templar would be on here, as, like specifically Atheon because of the challenge of it with the Oracles. You would think Atheon would have got on the list.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm actually kind of shocked that Caretaker's on this.
Ooh.
And not Crota.
Oh.
I mean, if you're talking about Godslayer, I mean, shit, having freaking Crota in that mix, and like you said, Atheon, that would have made a hell of a lot more sense.
So yeah, no, that would definitely.
But no, I have a feeling that there's probably some mechanical or engine issues with those two particular fights that they may not have been like on the list.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, especially they've already had both Crota and Atheon already had to undergo the D1 like reimagining, I guess it is. And those fights were decently different, especially like Crota is like you fight Crota totally differently than you did in D1, right? So like Oryx wasn't, Oryx was already mechanic heavy, and they tweaked him. It was, they were good tweaks, but like the encounter was mostly the same. I feel
fundamentally the same.
So like I feel like giving, they haven't gotten that round 2 after seeing right how everyone plays it. Like that's why you would do Caretaker or something again, right? Like after the raid team goes, oh, okay, that's how everyone deals with Caretaker now. Now I'm gonna give it the reimagine and switch it up on them so they can't do those things that they're comfortable with, right? That's what I think some of this is for. I mean, I don't know how complicated it's gonna be because this is something done for a free DLC kind of thing.
Right, that's also
like,
true. Yeah.
Right, so like how complicated are these changes? Are they reimagining good, where like how they redid Atheon or redid Crota, or are they just like I'm gonna throw a Tormentor in every cat thing? Right? Are we gonna? Is there gonna be a meme? It's like, hey, I know what to do. Throw a Tormentor into it. Is it gonna be like,
dude, if they throw a Tormentor on freaking contest mode, oh no, game over.
I still say that one of the things that everybody has been ignoring for a long time, and granted, Ghost of the Deep kind of like touched on it. But one thing that everybody keeps ignoring is the fact that if you look in the Bungie store, I don't know if it's still there right now. I was going to pull it up. But if you look in the Bungie store, there was a specific thing when King's Fall came out where there was a print you could buy where Oryx was like purple and white. And it looked like he had finally become like a light-bearing hive. So it very much gave the presentation of, hey, we might be throwing some like hive guardians into Oryx, and I was sitting here like I'm ready to cook, and it didn't happen, and I was like, that's a little weird. Like you have this whole picture, and you have this cool idea here, and it was like, why didn't we pursue that? Why didn't we look into that? Granted, like I said, they touched on it with the whatchamacallit, with Ghost of the Deep, but there was no expansion on that concept. And I was like, wow, that print looks badass. Why aren't we like exploring that? And it just didn't come about. I was a little sad about it.
So you think we're gonna get Giga Oryx or something?
Hey, if we got Giga Oryx, if Giga Oryx just shows up, I'd be like, yo, it's time to cook with gas. Like that. Like,
dude, imagine if you will, Oryx pops up like normal, and then all of a sudden he comes into the arena, not on the outside like he always is. He comes into the arena for the fight.
I mean, have you seen his legs? No, he can't do that. Those legs.
Yeah.
he got little chicken legs. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna throw it up on screen on the horizontal, but this was the image. Like I'll put it on Twitter for the people who can't see it. But like, But like Bungie, like this was a reward that, like, not a reward, a thing you could. I'll put it on the vertical too. This was something that you could buy from the Bungie store when Kingsfall dropped. Like if you completed Kingsfall, there was a thing that you could buy with this picture. And I legitimately sat here like, yo, where's light bearing Oryx? Let's turn up. And it just didn't happen. So like if that ever happened, I'd be down. I'm just saying, like, it'd be real interesting if we just pulled up and Oryx was just a light bearing hive at a left field. Like, it'd be real interesting. So that's my I like if it happens in the episodes, that'd be dope. But I feel like we're losing a big opportunity there if Oryx never gets to be the light bearing hive, because like Savathun's still out there. Hell, she could kill her sister and make her a light bearing hive too, and then the Zevo Wrath fan club, I mean Diva, would have a field day. So it would be real interesting to see.
I just had a freaking
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there, but does anybody else feel that this could possibly be the Destiny 2 what if boss edition?
Elaborate.
What if Oryx got the light? What if Atrix was resurrected but never became an Evo? An Evo?
Exo, okay.
An Exo? You know, shit like that. That would.
Ooh.
Oh damn.
Ooh. Hey yo, I think it'd be funny if we'd have just pulled up to this and like, hey yo, Nezarek and Rogue both just come down and just go, hey yo, you thought we were dead? This is the true final shape. We just pull up. So that would we'll have to wait and see of what comes about there. But Krausader, my man, we always allow the guest to go first. What is your closing statement for this episode of Cosmodrome Radio?
Just
what do you want to leave the people with?
Well, thank you both for having me on. Number one, it was a nice surprise to, you know, I've just you know, met you guys recently, and for you to welcome me on your show is a very nice thing for you guys to do. So I appreciate you.
Totally, yeah.
I just you know, I feel like right now it's a good time as far as Destiny goes, in that like this feels very 30th anniversary-ish, and like, right, like that was a long season before a big release. You extended it 6 months, you got, you know, 30th anniversary, people thought the game was in a great place then. Same thing's happening now. Wait 6 months, this is happening. Enjoy it is kind of what I would say. Yeah. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. Like they had extra time to do some cleanup and shining up the house a little bit before they dropped their thing. And remember, Witch Queen's drop was great. Then that came after 30th. So, you know, final shape, you know, we're probably going to have a good time. I think, you know, Bungie needs a year and a half to do their drops instead of a year. But yeah, like have a good time. Enjoy the content. You know, this is a good time to eat, good time to come back and start playing again, like all the things. I think we're gonna have all have a good time, you know. Just drop, you know, and not be and drop the cynicism a little bit. Enjoy yourself. It's okay. It's okay to have fun in this game.
Most definitely. Cajun, how you want to leave the people this evening?
So I'm gonna follow up behind Krausader. You know, a lot of the Destiny 2 community, I have seen some takes when it comes to Into the Light and Final Shape. Oh, recycled content. If you've been around gaming as long as I have, show me one dev studio that does live service that does not use any prior content in order to shake things up. If you cannot come with a valid critique of Bungie and what they're doing, then just say that you absolutely, beyond a shadow of doubt, hate Destiny 2, hate Bungie, and just move on. You know, stop being so damn salty that Bungie is trying their best to make good of a situation. And let's also be honest. Bungie's back is up against the wall.
Oh yeah.
Bungie management screwed up. And Sony's got them pinned. And so now they're having to cook. And I think now upper management's realizing, you know what? We should have let our devs do what they wanted to do. And now we're starting to see it. And we're starting to see that like support and cohesion within the devs, at least on the social media side. Because a couple weeks ago, we all saw it on Twitter. Bungie. And we're like, what's going on? And now we're seeing it with Into the Light. We're seeing it with freaking Final Shape. They had a reason to celebrate. And I kind of agree with you, Crusader. They need more time to cook. And this is when upper management needs to freaking stop. They need to stop holding the freaking devs back. Let them freaking cook. Let them do the game that they know they need to do based upon community feedback. But for the community, I'm going to say this. If you're not part of the community, shut the fuck up. If you are nothing but a COD brain rot who freaking wants to shit on Bungie at every turn, shut the fuck up. But if you want to be part of the community, if you want to actually provide feedback to the game, to the devs, and actually enjoy the game, then come on in. Let's have some fun.
Most definitely.
For anybody new light, this is the best time to get into Destiny 2 right now.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Okay. So here's how I'm going to end this, because I've been trying to think about this the whole show. I want to start with the PvP folks. Y'all might not like objective-based modes, but y'all got to tolerate it until Bungie leaves it. Also, please, for the love of God, read the twid. If you don't want to read the twid, Astrocross reads it to you every fucking week. Just go listen to him. Like, another week, boys. Another twab. Like, just go listen to it. Like, I'm sorry. I just, like, I get it. Some people don't like to read. I love to read. I read one book a month. I love doing it. I think that people need to do it more often, but some people don't like to read. If you don't like to read, just go watch the damn video. Just go do it. Give the man a couple like 20 minutes of your time, listen to it, and get it over with. Because the biggest problem is lack of knowledge. That's the biggest thing that I see across the board when it comes to the game is nobody having the knowledge to get through. B, to my PvE people, experiment, try new things. This is a great time when it comes to Onslaught to try new things. I know Solar's pretty and explosions. You can be Michael Bay and have a good time, but try something new. I had a good time this week trying out Doomfang Pauldrons. It was fun to go back to an old classic. But I'm gonna be cooking with some ice cream after this, and be going into Legend with Cajun. But try something new. Have some fun. To my hardcore PvE players, let's get cooking, because this is gonna be a good gauntlet right here. It's gonna be a good time. To the lower skill PvE players, know your limits. It's not gatekeeping. It's having the maturity to know to back up and let other people have fun. That's where I want to leave, folks. Don't forget that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, not Google anymore, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, anywhere that you can find a podcast, you can find us. Make sure you check it out. Check out the merch store. Cage is wearing the shirt. We will be having a new Final Shape design. It will be awesome. It's going to feature the Witness. I might do two. I might do two. I got to do some math and cook some stuff. I might do two designs. But at the very least, we have one already confirmed and lined up. I'm already working with the artist on the sketch, so get ready for that. And Crusader, thank you for being here. It was amazing having you. And you are welcome back anytime, fam, for real.
I appreciate it, man.
Most definitely. So we will catch you folks Starside. Peace out.
Later.